So, when we say girls in Nigeria should be given the right conditions to thrive, contextually, what does that mean and how important is that for them?
Really, what that means is that you are harnessing the potential of a girl child for future um, aspirations. You are giving the girl child a listening ear. You're speaking with the child. You're mentoring that child, that girl child, and also guiding her through life generally. So that's what that means.
But then, what are the most pressing challenges faced by girls, especially in Nigeria, from what you have observed so far? And how do you think these issues can be addressed?
Right. The first is you have gender inequality, which is very big. The gender equality is still pretty much an issue and a challenge in this part of the climb, where a girl would go for a job and rather consider a guy first before a girl. And secondly, you have child marriage, which is still very predominant in the northern parts of Nigeria. That's still very much happening now. Limited access to education as well is a very challenging issue that we still have to address in Nigeria. And of course, the very last one is gender-based violence. The gender-based violence cannot be overemphasized here because it's a daily occurrence in Nigeria and in Lagos State, for that matter, where we all reside here. We hear cases of women, ladies, girls being battered daily for one issue or the other.
We are going to talk about the GBV, but then let's look at the issue around education and how we need to empower the girl child. Are there specific initiatives you believe can be implemented to actually improve access to quality education for the girl child? Because we have the rural areas, we have the urban areas, we have conflict zones, but then there's a need for us to scale those hurdles. So how do you think we can go about that?
We have to address societal and cultural issues. Very important because it's not everybody that is in the urban area, just like you said. Very important. We have to enroll them and also retain education, sensitization, and information as well goes hand in hand when it comes to addressing these challenges. We have girls in the rural areas who are not even privy to education or to information, and they're living more or less in the dark and under the rug. So when such things happen to them, they feel like it's normal, it's as usual, and it has come to stay. But when we have an holistic approach whereby we have both the urban girl and the rural girl having the same information being passed on to them, they're empowered and they also have the power to say no when it's time to say no and yes when it's time to say yes. Very important. So you have to keep enrolling them and retain and sensitize. Very important.
All right. So, one debilitating issue that you mentioned earlier that the girl child constantly deals with is the gender-based violence. So how can we prevent and, in some instances, as quickly as possible as we can, respond to GBV against girls in Nigeria, ensuring that survivors have access to justice and, of course, support services?
Well, I would say that it's very important that you and I are involved because we are all
Of
stakeholders. We
course.
can't leave this to the government alone. Very important. So first off, personally, let's individualize this challenge. Let's take it on and say, you know what? I'm going to be part of this. Let one person have a one-on-one conversation and mentoring session with a girl child. Um, Very important because you cannot give what you do not have. Very important to do that. Then you must advocate for the rights and support of a girl child. Very, very important that you support them. Organizations also who are involved in doing such, who are into girl child empowerment should also, help by funding. Funding, very key. The only way you can get this information across is to make sure that it's well funded. And of course, this comes with a lot of baggage as it were. There's going to be training involved. There's going to be materials and resources and all of that that's going to be involved doing this. Very important. And of course, promote positive mindsets and remove that stereotype. The stereotype mindset whereby people or children are conditioned to thinking that Well, I'm a girl after all. I can always take the backbone out. After all, I'm going to end up in the kitchen at the end of the day. I don't have a say in the organization decision making, and things like that. The stereotype thinking must, let go. Government must be involved. We're all stakeholders, parents, schools, teachers, guardians, and of course the media as well, because you have a bigger job to do.
Yes, sorry to just come in, but then we still have, some inhibitions along religious and cultural lines because you talked about stigmatization or stereotypes, so to speak. And some people are more embraced or attuned to probably cultural or religious dictates. The things you've mentioned, would they be enough to actually, deal with those two areas?
Well, we can start from somewhere. Let's take our baby steps. According to UNESCO, we have over 132 million girl child that is uneducated. I don't have the statistics for Nigeria, but I know it's very alarming as well. If we take the portion that we have, the statistics in this part of the climate in Nigeria, and we begin to address this issue of differential in cultural background, socio-cultural background, I think there's so much that we can do to avert a girl ending up being violated or being abused, as it were. Very important that every child is armed with information. And in a case whereby the society or the cultural values do not even allow that or encourage that, we'll just keep talking about it. You can't stop talking about it. Keep talking about it. Keep sensitizing and informing them, because I know in that part of the climate in Nigeria, in the northern part, it's still a challenge for a lot of these girls to attend schools, normal school, or have a basic education.
Okay.
They would rather give them out to marriage under the age of 18, and life just stops at that. So, like I said earlier on that, yes, the cultural differences will be there. The society will forever be there. But we cannot fold our hands and say that there's nothing we can. Everybody should just put on, let's put on our gloves and
get to work
at it.
All right.
Yes, get to work.
All right. Bolanle Edwards, thank you so much for your time. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you for having me.